One of the most tiring storylines that I've heard about CLG is that we're all about friendship. But to me, it was never about the power of friendship. That was kind of a story someone else told about CLG. But I want to tell a new story. As a team, the reason we stuck together is to win and to be the best. So to me, like, making the Dardoch move was the right thing to do.
There's a lot of people saying this is CLG split to win, and with the addition of me, we're going to be a new team, and we're going to iron out the faults that they had last season or for the last 2 years. And yeah, I'd say that they're right.
What he brings to a team is actually what we needed on CLG.
Sort of a boisterous personality that we kind of lacked on the team.
He'll get passionate, he'll get heated about things, but he also helps us improve a lot faster.
I'm not the kind of person to beat around the bush. If I see an issue in game or out of game, I'll bring it up instantly because I want it fixed and I want us to improve. And working on CLG, everyone is like that. I do think that we have a good chance of winning the split. If we keep up the work ethic we have now, we will easily be the best team in North America by the end.
Welcome back, everyone, to the North American League Championship Series for the 2017 Summer Split. Teams return hungry to prove themselves here in the LCS studios in Los Angeles, California, and the fans are out in force to support their favorite teams as they start their journeys and their quest for the NALCS title and perhaps representation at Worlds. Here earlier we saw Dardoch roll up with the new squad. We heard that he thinks with practice they could be the best team in the North American LCS. Jensen, though, entering with Cloud9, looking for redemption after finishing second in the spring split. However, I'm James Dash Patterson. Joining me to kick out the analyst desk, Aiden Zyrene Moon. We've made it to the summer split. How you doing?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm really excited to get summer kicked off.
Absolutely. We've had a few roster changes, some stuff that we're going to get to look at going into the season, but all in all, I'm super excited for what looks to be like a very competitive split at that. Let's go ahead and begin by looking at the teams that are taking to the stage today. First up, Dardoch debuts as CLG's new jungler versus Spring's Rookie of the Split Contracts and Cloud9. Then Xmithie dons a New Jersey as he and Immortals look to take down Inori and Phoenix One. Now, despite this being the first time that all 10 of our teams are returning from the spring split, almost all of them have made an adjustment of some kind.
Yeah, it was a bit of a calm offseason, though. We talk about the teams making some adjustments, but no team actually made more than one change to their starting roster. Nobody made two, which is incredible. It means that we have less of that time where people are saying, oh, we blew up the roster, we have to re-synergize. None of that. These are the same organizations. They have spring to build on as well, and we only have one rookie in this entire split who's slated to be a starting roster man. So I think right now, we're looking at a split where there's no excuses. Right out of the gate, this should be the most competitive NALCS split to date.
Makes the rookie of the split vote pretty easy as well. But
That's
let's
true.
go ahead and talk about some of the more notable roster moves that you mentioned. The big one being CLG Immortals, swapping Xmithie and Dardoch.
Yeah, both these guys kind of had underwhelming splits last split. Their teams not really doing as well as they would want to in the standings, but you traded an aggressive jungler for a jungler that was more about playing around the team. Dardoch's known to be a star, known to be a very boisterous personality, whereas Xmithie more calm, more team-focused, and so the trade went like that, where it seems like Immortals wanted to play a little bit more around their carries of Flame and unlock Pobelter, whereas it seems like CLG wanted more force from the jungle.
Right, you kind of have that consistent jungler, what you know you'll get out of Xmithie, as you mentioned, playing around his team and setting them up, whereas for Dardoch, for his career so far has been about, you know, this is a star on the rise, but he hasn't found the right team yet. He hasn't had a breakout split. He's had breakout games. We're waiting for that full split to kind of cement him as a star among the NALCS. But my question to you is, within this trade, who got the better end of the deal?
I think CLG. You talking about Dardoch not having a breakout split? I think day one, week one, Dardoch was already a star, rookie of the split on his debut. I think that that guy has the power that they need. And CLG, now they have somebody who's going to, you know, they talked about not so much about the friendship, give the feedback that they need. They don't have those passive members on the team now. Everybody is open to improving. And I've talked to Dardoch about this move, and he said, CLG, you know, it was all about the friendship and everybody has that camaraderie. but everybody's on the same page about wanting to be the best team, and that's where he kicks in.
Right, and that's what they have to do. They got to win that NALCS title in order to be truly considered the best. Another set of notable pickups, though, or a switch-up, rather, would be Doublelift Wild Turtle from TSM to FlyQuest here, and Doublelift back into the roster that went 17-1 last summer.
Yeah, you got a little taste of Doublelift on TL last split when he was kind of in retirement or taking a break, but TSM fans are ecstatic. TSM didn't really have a good midseason invitational, and they are waiting for Doublelift to come back. Last time we saw him on TSM, 17-1 match record, winning summer 2016. So fans are ready for Doublelift to be back in there. They want to see what the shot calling looks like with him back on the roster.
Well, that's the thing, though, right? Expectation is actually pretty high because the last time we saw him was that 17-1 run that they made. Of course, they did have a disappointing appearance at Worlds that year. We'll see if they can return to form immediately or if it will take some time to ramp up. On the flip side, Wild Turtle, funnily enough, rejoining some former teammates of his, Highs Balls Lemonation, from 5 years ago.
2012, Orbit, and also Quantic Gaming. Wild Turtle was a part of that roster with High, and that's when he first got his competitive debut. And then I think that right now, this is really good for Turtle, because he was in a spot where people are like, where's the old Turtle? Where's the flash forward, aggressive pentakill Turtle?
Right.
Kind of not seen for a while. But back on a roster with High enabled Moon to have a breakout, career-defining split last spring. And now I think that's going to happen again for Wild Turtle with somebody who enables him to be aggressive. Because High, out of position, really aggressive, but Turtle can be right there with him.
Exactly. We've talked about it so many times. What High does to unlock other players on the team might be exactly what Wild Turtle needs to finally show, you know, that mechanical prowess, but in an aggressive manner that he always has wanted to.
Exactly. And if you were looking at TSM near the end, it was kind of like these guys need to play carries. Turtle, not a lot of people in the community had confidence in him, and they were asking for Doublelift back on TSM. If he's having some confidence issues, High is the guy to fix those. Wild Turtle, I feel like we're going to see that smile again on FlyQuest, and he's going to be right up there on top of the stand.
Them pearly whites, we got him right there. Hopefully we'll see him live in just a few minutes. But we also got to talk about the fact that there's a new patch, right? Always when we talk about League of Legends is the fact that this game iterates on every 2 weeks. And so even while all these roster moves are coming through, and for example, we talk about Dardoch being a playmaker, well, tank rework, and all of a sudden relevance of tanks in the jungle, how is this going to affect different players within the league?
Exactly. A little bit more team focus. We'll still see the fighters, but I think Sejuani and Zach are the two big ones here that we'll see in Champion Select pretty frequently depending on picks and bans. And I think that helps people like Rainover, former MVP, but was on TL, and they really struggled. They need to find a way to avoid being in relegations again. And I think with the tank rework, this gives Rainover a little more agency in the jungle than it was before with things like Kha'Zix and Graves.
Yeah, the mark of a true pro, or the best pros, are the ones that can change with the times, evolve with the game itself. Another big change coming through, though, the Rift Herald. And this is an objective change. It'll be very interesting to see how the teams decide to play around it strategically.
Exactly, because the pick ban, the champion changes, that's not every game. This is literally every game, the top side of the map after 10 minutes. The Rift Herald will spawn. It's a soloable objective. It gives you an empowered recall, and it gives you this gigantic behemoth to push down turrets. It does 25% of its current health to the turret when it rams into it, and you'll see it right here. It's just going to demolish that thing, and it's allowing players like Flame or Someday, who had the best top laning stats in the league, to have a way to push that objective further, to get this Rift Herald, to get turrets, tier 2s, possibly inhibitor turrets, and help their team end the game when they struggled with that.
I'm also really excited about the fact that it's just going to separate the map, right? It's going to put weight into the top side of the map, where it's just we're always for the first 20 minutes talking about how the teams are going to set up and play around dragons. Well, guess what? One team go dragon, the other team goes Rift Herald. All of a sudden, vision control, all these types of things are going to really come into play that much sooner into the game.
And it means teleport plays have to be good teleport plays, or they get punished early on. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is what's going to happen in that top lane, because we're going to see these tanks like Galio and Nautilus and Gragas push out the wave, but we're also going to see Fiora, we're also going to see Kled, we're going to see people try to crush the lane to scale, to get the Rift Herald, to push down turrets, and I think that this is going to be really explosive, because we had the talent. Remember last split, we were like, top lane NALCS, such a great lane, there's so much stack there. Everybody's playing tanks.
Yeah.
Not going to happen this split. There will be some, but I still think the top carries are going to be big.
We'll see if we get it. You mentioned that this could be the most competitive split we've had, in contrast to what was already a very competitive spring split this year. Before we kick off the summer split, though, Contract shared his thoughts on facing CLG's new jungler. Take a look.
You know, I'm actually really looking forward to playing against CLG, because I've played against Dardoch through Challenger, through last LCS split, and he's always been one of my biggest challenges as a jungler for sure. And I'm just looking forward to playing against him, and hopefully we can pull out the win.
Well, we'll see him at the Rift very soon. Hello.